Alright, we're up and running. Welcome to the live stream. What's going on, folks? What up? Dodo Brain, Duke, Lord of Graphite. How's my volume, folks? How we sounding? We sounding Gucci? Music sound good? My volume good? How we doing? Tuna fishy, yo. I got a new iPad, by the way, folks. It's a bigger one. It's a newer one. My old one, the battery was degradation, so I had to buy a new one. Yippee, spending money. Volume good? Alright, cool. So as you can see, this is what I'm working on tonight. Some more cartography. In case y'all haven't seen, I just finished up this one. The first continent, Arathia. So now we're on to Sundara. So I'm going to finish up doing the flats. And then hopefully get into like some shading and stuff tonight too. So right now I am doing the super fun part here of coloring tree trunks, you know? How many hours into this one am I? Let's check. Let's check real quick, folks. How many hours? Actually, you know what? How about y'all guess? How many hours do you think I've put into this piece of art so far? What would be your guess? So previously, this one right here, ballpark 27 hours it took me to work on this one. So what do y'all think I'm at time-wise? How many hours do you think I've put in so far? $13 Rebeater with 13 hours. Is this land more primitive or advanced? Depends. Different areas, different cultures, different races, things like that. More advanced, less advanced, just depends. 22 hours, we got 9 hours. 12. Let's see. What are we at? Let's see. Here we go. Let's check it. 17. 17 so far. 17 hours. So, who was closest, I guess? Rebeater was closest. But, yeah. I think this is probably my favorite continent. So, that's why I wanted to work on this one next after Arathia. Because, like, you see here, we got... Oh, yeah. And here's the original map, so y'all can see that. This is the original map. This is our base map, right? You know, not super detailed. And then this is where we're at now. I even put a little coral reef down there, y'all. Look at that. We got the Kraken over there. Look at that. We got the Kraken. We got some merchant ships and little villages. Red Tide Reaver eggs over there. We got a pirate ship. Look at that. We got a little treasure chest I got a color. Sand ship. We got a sand well right there, folks. I mean, we got all kinds of stuff up in this continent. This continent's got a lot of trees, as you can see. Lots of trees. Look at all these dang trees out of color. Look at all these tree trunks. Look at them. They're all over the place. What continent would you say it's based off of? It's not based off of any one particular thing. I take influences from everything. We got like Indonesian influence, we got Pirates of the Caribbean influence, we got Arabian Nights influence in the Middle East, and then we got like African influences. We got South American influences. We got it all. So I'm trying to knock out the rest of these tree trunks real quick, and then we can color some of the buildings and like some of the other things all around the map. It's like a more wild continent. In a way, I mean this area over here in particular, because we got the orcs, so this is where the orcs dwell right here. You can see some of the orc little huts or whatever you want to call them, right? So we got orcs up in this region. Over here though, humans, and even down here, humans. Right here is going to be jungle trolls living in the trees. Mainly humans, but like I said, orcs in the northern part over here. And some trolls. And I might add some sort of like fishmen or something, right? Some sort of fish humanoid species chilling around here or something. Who knows? It's always a work in progress, you know? We're always adding more stuff as we go. Duck, what up? Duck. Coloring all these trunks first, and then I'll hit up them palm trees. Or I might just skip it. I might go straight to coloring some of the buildings and stuff. It's because they're a little bit more fun than the trees, right? We gotta make this stream a little interesting, right? The best part's gonna be when I go to the shading, because that's when it really brings it all together, you know. What's your favorite race? Probably orcs. I'm a simple man. Probably the orcs. Although humans, I mean, come on. Humans, come on. Can't hate on ourselves, alright? We gotta show love for the humans. Orcs, demons. Although the elves, when I get into the elves, they're gonna be cool too. Dwarves, they're cool too. The shroomids, though. See, that's the thing. I'm knocking out the continents that I have more developed so far versus like some of the other ones. The other ones, like, there's a lot more I need to flesh out with them, but these ones I have a better idea of fully what I want from them, so that's why I'm knocking these out first, to give myself more time to come up with more things for some of the other continents. We got some little geysers. Got a little bone. Look at that. We got a little excavation team right here, digging up some bones and stuff, and some artifacts. You know. We got like a field researcher team out here doing their thing. Up here, we got this sky tower right here. I'm not going to say too much about it. We got a sky tower up over this little joint. And down here, this right here, this little thing I haven't colored yet, it's called the spine of the jungle. I don't want to talk too much about that either. Are there any canyons or rock formations? I mean, look at all these, there's rock formations out here, right? This is a big old valley. Canyons, the canyons were more in Arathia. So Arathia's got canyons here, and then this whole thing right here is a big canyon. The Elden Worm's Cradle. A massive... Also, like, proportion-wise, obviously, guys, this isn't, like, completely accurate, right? We're just doing, like, a RPG-style map, so it's not like everything distance-wise and proportion-wise is correct. But it's just a representation. Would there be any interest to unseen lands or portals like an underground area? I mean, right over here, you know, there's cave systems and stuff, so there's going to be like underground areas. I'm probably not going to draw like an underground map until I get to over here. I mean, this is like you guys can see this is like rough notes and stuff. You can see how I start. A lot of this is just BS. I'm just thinking to myself, but this area right here is where the Dark Elves are going to be, and they're in the underground. There's a whole underground realm, like an underworld. That's where they are. So I'm going to probably draw an underground map for that continent in particular, but not any of these other ones. These ones are maybe like overworld. Let me let's color a couple like the buildings or something. And for the since this area, some lore. So this is the Valley of the Beast right here. This is like this area right here. This zone, this region is like where the largest concentration of megafauna are. So it's just all giant creatures. You see right there in that lake. What do we got there, guys? We got a Sobek chilling in the lake. We got a behemoth skeleton. So because it's very dangerous and stuff, you can see like the orcs, like surrounded by their perimeter. They have these sort of spikes. They're giant. They take giant bones, and they kind of stack them as like a barricade. They sharpen them up and stuff to kind of keep out giant creatures and stuff, right? Because it's dangerous out over here, man. It's dangerous. Danger, danger, danger. Do you have a unicorn design yet? No, I haven't designed a unicorn yet. I will though in the future. I do plan on doing that. Probably once I go and explore more of like the elves' backstory and stuff more, I'll design some more creatures for those biomes. Because that's where they're gonna... The unicorns, just so you know, would probably be... Whoops. The unicorns are gonna be Silver Song Coast. That's where the unicorns will live. Then we got these giant mounds, like termite mounds. I haven't decided yet whether I'm just going to make it giant insects or like humanoid insects. I haven't decided yet whether, that's how I want the species, whoever constructed these giant mounds. I haven't decided whether I want them to kind of be an actual insectoid race or if I just want to keep them as like these giant bugs. We'll see. We'll see what I'm feeling when I get to it. Is there any underground forest similar to Glimwood Tangle and Sword and Shield? What was Glimwood Tangle? I don't remember Glimwood Tangle. What was it? What did Glimwood Tangle look like? Dude, I don't remember like any of the area names from Pokemon. Not since like the earliest gens. Oh, the mushroom forest? Are you sure that's underground, isn't it? That's not underground, is it? Just a mushroom forest, right? I mean, there's gonna be the mushroom forest, right? We got Shroomids, so that will exist. Favorite creature in Colgrath besides the God Dragons to the Battle Royale, who would you put your money on winning? One of the colossal species, like a Leviathan or a Kraken or something like that, just because of their size. Joe, what up? What it do, Joe? What it do? Let's make these temples like gold. A city of gold. Or goldish. Good contrast against the green. Yeah, maybe a little less macaroni colored. Too much macaroni. Yeah, that's alright right there. I'm also thinking about this area here. So just because like there's like one building, right? Don't think that it means that it's just actually one building. When I draw these things, they're kind of just like a icon representation of maybe a village or a town or a city, right? So this area here, like this, for instance, this whole region here, you see that's kind of gated off with these giant wooden spikes and things. These would be like multiple different cities within this sort of country or region. But I'm thinking about maybe designing an old god that the peoples of this region would worship. Thinking maybe like a big cat type of old god or something, right? Maybe like a jaguar themed type of thing, since we're going some sort of, you know, Amazon influence a little bit. So I'll have to figure out what kind of old god I want to create for this region, what kind of things I want to theme it around, what I want it to represent. With some of these kingdoms and Coalgrass have colonies in other parts of the world. I'm glad you asked. Yes. I'm going to cover that in some backstory. But Hyloria, the kingdom of Hyloria, used to be an empire. So they used to be the largest empire ever. And so one of the colonies would be down here. Because, you know, like I said, it's kind of Pirates of the Caribbean theme. So think of kind of inspiration from like British colonies and things like that. So this would have been a former colony of Hyloria, but it's independent now. So, but yeah, that'll exist in this world. The next continent I'll work on after this will probably be Terracon, or maybe Terracon or Skaldheim. Skaldheim's a lot smaller, so it'll be less work. But we'll see. Snake Hunter, what up? What are the spikes sticking out of the edge? These? Talking about these? They're giant pillars to kind of isolate this kingdom from the rest of the world. Because like I said, there's a bunch of giant megafauna and stuff, and then you've got jungle trolls over here chilling in the treetops. So yeah, it's like a giant fence. Giant gate. A King Kong inspired gate here. To keep out the unwanted visitors. And interlopers. You recently transferred your dad to your new phone at home with your dad and you forgot to check your photos before you wiped your phone and ended up losing 3,000 photos and videos, including pets that passed. Dang, that sucks. Sorry. It's happened to me before, losing a bunch of photos from a previous phone. Happens to the best of us. So you gotta get that like iCloud or like a backup drive or something in the future. We got little burrows right here, little dens, some dire boar dens, just chilling. Right next to the little mud holes. How much of these civilizations rely on either agriculture or hunting, gathering for food? Well, the orcs, they're straight up just hunter-gatherers. But then humans, you know, they would do all of it. Agriculture, I mean, you can see right down here. This would be like their farmlands and stuff. Is Kolgrath an entire world or a continent? Is there any archipelago or just a big land? Yeah, it's a whole world. This is one continent. This is a continent. So actually you can see this is the continent I'm working on right now. There's this continent right here above it. That might be who I do next. We'll see. But yeah, it's a whole world, dude. It's a whole big old world out there. Meant for exploring. Right here we got a nest for a rock. Not Dwayne the Rock Johnson, but rock, like the bird from the bestiary. That's a rock nest right there. Actually, whoops, I want to color that on that layer. It needs to be on this layer for the trees. There we go. Who remembers, which one of y'all have been here since the beginning? You remember the rocks? In my very first video of the series. Rock and then a behemoth. Who remembers that? Who's the OG here up in chat? Who's been here since the beginning? Two OG creatures of Kolgrath. Watching this stuff makes you want to do some world building. Joe, come on, man. Do some world building, man. Design your own stuff. I know you got ideas. Create a world, dude. Create a world and share it with the world, alright? You've been here since the coastal drake? Hey, coastal drakes. This is where they live down here. The misty coast. See that? I drew a little bit of mist. Y'all see how I did that? What's up? Joe, just so you know, that this little area right here, Joe's a little bit Indonesian inspired. Just a heads up, you know. Shout out to Indonesia. And Komodo. The Komodo Isles. What color are... Because the rock, I base it off of bearded vultures. So what color is a bearded vulture egg? What do they look like? Kind of yellowish, splotchy. Okay. Alright. Guess that's what we're doing then. So let me actually... They're kind of... There's our rock eggs. Oh, hold on, we gotta hit this bad boy right here. Our little Sobek, our little Spinosaurus creature, chilling in the swamps. Got that sail poking out the water. Actually, I might have to, let me color grab. Let's be accurate. Let's go back. We're gonna go back. Let's go back. Bestiary, bestiary, bestiary. Where we at? Where you at, hombre? Let's grab the right colors. Gotta stay true to the source material. Alright? So it's like a bronze color. Okay. Let's go grab that blue. Let's go back, go back, go back, go back, go back. Let's grab the blue. Where you at, blue? You're my boy, blue. You're my boy. It's like a blue jean kind of blue, like a Levi. There we go. Spino chillin'. What did you name the Ceratops? Yeah, I didn't. As soon as I ended the stream, I didn't think anymore anything else about it. I just went back to work on this. Hellhorn, though, that was a good idea, though. When I go back and refine it, that's a good name, the Hellhorn. I did like that. I remember that. Let's color this sky tower. Not to be confused with the sky pillar where Rayquaza lives. But maybe a little bit inspired by it, you know? Let's go to this boneyard over here, where our explorers and excavators are out here digging stuff up, researching to update, you know, the bestiary. Some more intel and ecology, understanding the world. Alright, study the past to better understand the present. What do you think of pineapple on pizza? Honestly, I've never even tried it, just because the idea of it is disgusting. I've never tried it, so I can't say. Maybe it's good. I mean, who knows? Can't say I've ever tried it. Does Colgrath have unicorns? Sure does. Ooh, Team Behemoth or Team Sobek? Which are y'all? Got our Sandwell over here just chilling. Big chilling. Also, I want to go back and do some more drawings of a bunch of the creatures that I've already established. Maybe do some like action scenes or maybe some in-world scenes. I thought about doing one between obviously like the Sobek and Behemoth fighting, things like that. Maybe we could do one where a rock is flying down into the valley and stealing a baby behemoth calf from its mother. do some hardcore scenes like that, right? It's a brutal world. It's a brutal world. Let's see. For our sand ship, I think I might end up making the make the sails red. Go figure. The best color. I think I'll make them red. Has Colgrath ever been hit by a deadly plague? Perhaps. Perhaps. Don't want to get too much into that. There might be a particular character that has something to do with that. What's your favorite Monster Hunter? Is that Wilds or World? Because MHW can stand for Wilds or World. Or are you just talking Monster Hunter in general? Is the sand ship inspired by the Sandbenders? No. No. It's just I mean, some of these designs and stuff, like, are not really, like, I didn't get super specific, like, buildings and stuff, like, architecture. Right now, like, even sand, it's a kind of, not generic, but, you know, it's not like something I put a bunch of, it's a small-ass little icon, so it's not really meant to be some crazy detailed thing, but... no, I'd say more inspired by like Monster Hunter sand ships, or just, you know, sand ships in general. D-Rex Tube, what up? Do you have in your world variants and deviants like in Monster Hunter? I mean, there'd be like different like subspecies and things, right? Because speaking of something like that, so the rocks here, I'm thinking of their cousin species, because, you know, I got a behemoth and I got a leviathan, right? So we haven't done Ziz. So I'm thinking about making Ziz a cousin species to the rock. So very similar giant bird. So that's what I'm thinking with that. I just haven't drawn them yet. Got our Zelda music playing in the background. Can't beat it. Zelda music, probably some of the best in all of gaming. Wait, why is that? Why was that not selecting? That's weird. It's kind of too dark still. And this right here, for those of y'all who have the old Kolgarath Bestiary book, that city right there is where you will find the Arizarian Golem, the great golden city of Tali Mariad. So these guys are like the guardian sentries, automatons created to protect this city here. Maybe we'll make the bridge gold too. They're all about the gold, baby. We can always change the colors later. Just want to get the flats down, and then we can adjust when needed. Kyra, what up? I got into a pack of plains raptors hunting a dire boar. There you go. Oh, I have thought about doing a scene for the Great Savannas of a fresh kill, a Dongadon downed by a group of orcs hunting on the backs of dire boars, but an Algrok storms in to fight them over the kill. So I might do that too. That's a scene. That's a scene that I want to draw out. Are you doing a genie? No, not yet, but I do plan on doing a djinn. I love me a djinn, and they're going to be inhabiting this area, obviously, because this is Middle East and Arabian Nights inspired and all that good stuff. I know you need to start, but I just want your advice on what you need to do first, the world itself or its inhabitants. Well, Joe, I do plan on making a video here eventually about world building. I want to get some more stuff done, and I'll go more in depth, but really you just gotta start, dude. It doesn't matter where you start, just start with something. I started with doing creatures first. That was the very first thing I started. Started off with the creatures, and then I started thinking about what kind of habitats they would live in. So then I went from there, I started thinking of biomes. Then from there I started thinking about what type of races I would want to create for there, which would then, influence, whatever cities, architecture. And you just kind of build. There's no one starting point, just pick something you want to do first. I say start with stuff you like to do first. So like Joe, you're like me, you're a creature guy, so start with some creatures, some important creatures for the world, and then think about how they can have relationships with other things, the environment, the people of the world, and just kind of flesh it out from there. Obviously, if you're creating a world, you want to study our world too. I like history. I'm a big history guy, so that I take influence from that. Mythologies, obviously, and just kind of use that stuff as starting points. Take things you like from here and there. Throw it in a bowl of soup, mix it all up, and see what you get. We got the black pearl over here. Arg. You know what? Let's make it a black ship. Yeah, pirates. You might be the worst pirate I've ever heard of, but you have heard of me. One of my favorite movies, by the way, guys, Pirates of the Caribbean. Let's get our reaver eggs. Kraken fighting a Leviathan. Yeah, we could do that. We got our Kraken over here attacking a poor ship who's just trying to get to the islands over here to do some trades and some deals and stuff, I don't think they're gonna make it, folks. I think that Kraken's gonna get them. Gorogon, standing overkill. This right here, this mountain here, this is where Gorogons are. Actually, this mountain has kind of even got its own little internal, like, giant cave system in there too. It's got water and stuff, obviously. Little waterfalls crashing down. It's meant to look like a mouth, in case you couldn't tell, right? Like a vicious, jaggedy mouth. Let's go over here to our Our treasure chest. Nice little dug up treasure chest over here. Full of gold. Pirates love their gold doubloons. You're world building, you're having trouble with your races. Your world is based on 3 murder gods who became the 3 terrors, based off of 3 terrifying ways to be murdered. What are the 3 terrifying ways to be murdered? Like buried alive? Who would win in an arm wrestle, Boris or Thorok? Come on, we gotta go with Boris, right? He's a mountain troll. He's like twice the size. He's like 10 feet tall. Speaking of Boris, I actually just finished my script for my next Kolgrath video, guys. Finally, all right? I'm getting back to it. It's gonna be about the trolls. So Boris will be making an appearance in that next video. I'll probably do some editing after I finish the stream. Because I gotta get back to doing some real grinding. Back on, I gotta get the YouTube content back going again. My primary place of work is getting slow right now, so I need to make up for it with YouTube. Would you be releasing a second edition bestiary with all the new creatures? I don't plan on a next bestiary book. If I do a next book, it'd be like a full compendium stuff. So stuff like this would actually be in it too. It would be more about the world. There would also be creatures in it, but it'd be like creatures, characters, races, more in-depth info about the world and stuff like that. Buried alive, burned alive, and drowned. And from their death came the red tide that basically turned the whole world into a bloodborne. Ooh. Yeah, what would y'all rather be? Buried alive, drowned, or burned? I'm picking drowned. Because you can just swallow a bunch of water more and more and just cause yourself to die quicker. Buried alive would be the scariest. Burned alive would probably be the worst. Just in terms of pain. Buried alive, you know, wouldn't be painful, but it'd probably be the scariest because it'd last the longest, right? And you'd be stuck in there. Ooh. No, no, no. I would never. That's some psychopathic shit right there, man. And I know these look like little dingy docks, but it's technically supposed to represent like a port, you know? So if you see any like town, or this is like a port city or a port town, right? So anytime you see like these cheap little dingy docks, it's to represent a port. Have you played Horizon Zero Dawn? No, I have not. No, I have not. I haven't played either of them. One or two. Our jungle troll huts over here in the trees. I actually still need to design them too. I've done like a rough design for them, but I haven't solidified their look. Same thing with the desert trolls. I haven't explored their design yet either. I have some ideas of what I want to do with them. The jungle trolls, in terms of their design, one of the influences in terms of how they like look, I think a little shift tree from Pokemon. Shift tree from Pokemon's always kind of reminded me of like a little troll, so I was like, I could use that as some inspiration for my jungle trolls, because you know they got the big nose, they got that big old schnoz on them. Your trolls have insane healing factors? No, I haven't decided to give them anything like that. Maybe the jungle ones could have something like that, but of the ones I've fleshed out so far, no healing factor. Speaking of healing factor, when's that Wolverine game coming out? Soon? So I gotta get that. I'll probably play that on stream or something. Although I know there's gonna be a lot of blood and stuff in it, so I'm sure it'll be demonetized or something, right? Are there any sky islands like the ones located in Arizona, which are just mountains with isolated ecosystems on them? Sky islands in Arizona. Sky Islands, Arizona. Hold on, what are you talking about, Willis? Bum, bum, bum. That's cool looking. I mean, that's kind of like, so that stuff is, if you want to know what you're like, over here, the Badlands, that's kind of inspired by the American West. So like Grand Canyon and, you know, Utah and Nevada and all that kind of stuff. That's kind of the biome inspiration for that area. There's little merchant boats over here, you know. They wheeling and dealing. Is the Red Tide Reaver inspired by a pterosaur? Not really. They were inspired by, damn, what were they called? A frigate bird. It's basically a frigate bird dragon with some kind of like marine mammal type of influence with like the way their wings are and stuff. Down with the ship. Part of the crew, part of the ship. Down to David Jones' locker. Since we got a Kraken there, let's pull some colors from the old Kraken. Kraken, Kraken, Kraken. What's Kraken? Here's our Kraken. So I'm honestly, the parts sticking up are just gonna be the red. But what part of the red do I want to grab? Red with white. Like a candy cane. No, candy cane tentacles. All evolution leads to crab. Yes, true. Crab people. I always think of South Park whenever I think of crab people. And these little aisles here are connected by big old bridges. Alright, that should be all the ports there. Should be all of them suckers. Oh, we got another building over here chilling. Lurking in this mountain pass. Hiding. Yeah, I probably should have thrown some ruins around somewhere. I might go back and add some stuff later. I'll probably adjust. I forgot about that. I'll probably add some ruins or something up in here. I might delete. Maybe get rid of that. Break it down some, you know. Turn those into ruins and then maybe throw some, maybe some jungle ruins in there too. I gotta remember to do that. I guess to go back and adjust. Make sure I got the base color of all the buildings. Let's see. Let's look around. Let's venture around. See what we're missing, if anything. I think I hit them all. Although, let's go back over here. Steamy. Were all these continents connected into one supercontinent like Pangea? Nah. Nope, we're not doing Pangea here. Do you have a Sphinx in your world? Not yet. Not yet. Doing the map drawing is amazing. I love how it's looking. Thank you. Stick Mini Isis? A giant Sphinx moth? Anybody here been to Egypt? Oh, I'd love to go. Alright, let's go back to work on some of these trees. Long, tedious process of cartography. You're witnessing it live, folks. Witness it in all its glory. Would it be easier just typing all this into an AI prompter and just having it generate it for you? Maybe, sure. But where's the fun in that? This is handcrafted. Old school, baby. We handcraft here. Alright? That's what we do. What do cloud runners eat? You. Brenton, they eat you. Do some of these kingdoms treat cats like gods, similar to ancient Egypt? Well, I was thinking about maybe doing an old god for this this little kingdom over here with these pyramids. Maybe having their old god be like jaguar inspired. Their old god. I just haven't decided yet. Because I gotta choose like themes and stuff, right? If you're doing like gods, they need to kind of represent stuff. So I need to think about what it would represent and how I can kind of incorporate that into whatever sort of animal type of thing I use as its, you know, base design. How many times do you need to regenerate to get a desired result? Probably, I don't even know. I mean, you're probably never going to get exactly what you want, right? No clue. But even with what I'm doing now, I'll eventually go back and adjust, and because I'm building this in real time, so things are always going to be changing and expanding, and I'll add lore or maybe change some stuff up that I haven't settled on yet, or you know, go back and eventually have more things planned out with like the maps even, and then I can go and change these little towns and things to more particular architecture. But That's just like the last thing on my list to be worried about. I just want to get the gist across of just like a more in-depth map so people can better visualize or see what I envision and what I have planned. You know, show don't tell type of thing here. And to my right, sitting on the bed, is a wild peach who's awake from her nap and staring me in the face, grunting because she wants me to pay attention to her instead of work. Can we get an aquatic creature based on a blue lobster? Rock lobster? Yeah, I'll do some sort of lobster critter. I definitely want to do some more aquatic stuff. Cool map building, thank you very much. What is more beautiful, a cloud runner display or a quetzalosaur display? Quetzalosaur. Fancy feathers. You're planning to do a full drawing of a city? Probably not. I might do, I might design some certain buildings based upon what like their architecture would be. Maybe like a couple type of building types or something, you know? Maybe like a central tower or cathedral or things like that as well, but I'm not an architect, so that's going to be a whole nother thing I have to study before I can expand into doing things like that. Because I have zero experience. Just like I have zero experience with this. You're seeing me figure out how to do cartography. Because I've never done it before. Alright, did I miss any of these little palms? Because I want to throw some texture and stuff onto stuff. I still need to refine the colors more of all the buildings, but we can save that for later. Maybe let's start adding some texture to the mountains. Let's see, what can we roll with here? Let's go with wasteland. put a little bit of snow over here. These are tall. These are pretty tall mountains. Just a little bit of snow. Not too much. Whoa, did not mean to do that. Crap. Should have put that on a different layer. What happens if you jump in a Pokemon game? Nothing. Can't be done. If you're speaking of can't be done. What tools are you using? All the tools provided by Procreate. This pack and this pack I bought from other artists, but other than that, everything else is brushes that come with the app. The idea of making 4 Naga Southeast Asian long dragon. Joe, I know what a Naga is. They each represent 4 basic elements: Vayu, the wind and sky; Bhumi, the earth; Sayamudra, the ocean; and Agni, the volcanic mountain. That's cool. I'm digging it. The wind and sky, earth, the ocean, and volcanic mountain. Classic, the 4 elements: fire, water, earth, and air. The mountains really start to look cool once you do the shading on them. That's my favorite part. The shading is what really makes things pop. Like, I'll show y'all. So that makes everything look so much more dynamic. So let's go to the shading. So that's the difference. Like, look at the difference in like mountains. Like, that makes all the difference. Alright. Boom. From flat to poppin', dude. 3D, bro. Well, natural disasters. Does the continent usually... This continent? You're gonna have some earthquakes. Down here, you're probably gonna have, you know, your hurricanes or your tsunamis, right? Over here, you're gonna have sandstorms. Although I guess that's not really a natural disaster, right? Our society makes use of fish meal. The Mongol horde used it to feed their horses? Really? I did not know that. Fish meal. Interesting. Very interesting. Oh yeah, we're jamming now. How large are the continents? Very large. Like your typical size of continents would be. This is one of the bigger ones. I guess we can maybe throw some snow up on these things too, right? They're pretty tall. Maybe just over this one in particular. It's like the tallest peak. Maybe hit this one too with a little bit. Let's throw some texture on these termites. Some color variation. Do all races have their own languages? So there's gonna be like common tongue, right? That's gonna be like the main language, which is kind of like English, right? Human, the human language, common tongue, but it's like the most common thing spoken throughout the world that most people understand. But then there's gonna be like Elvish, right? And then you're gonna have like the orcs can have their own language. Are there any relatives of the Rhodocrodon? Not that I've designed. Common tongue could be because of trade. Trade, yeah, but also just because humans cover, or they live in just about every continent. Humans are, kind of based off of humans. We're adventurous and we go out and we explore. We're curious creatures, so humans are, like that in this world as well. So they spread around all over. The elves are more isolationist. Same with the dwarves. Although the dwarves do travel more, though. Because, they like to trade and stuff, too. They like getting their hands on some gold and some treasures. So, they'll make their way down here, too, to deal with them bargains. Get their hands on some bargains down here. Do some trading. Trading a bunch of that ore they get from the mountains. And precious metals. Then he gets robbed by a bunch of pirates. Perfect. I might start adding some textures to the trees next. I think I'll hit the trees next. Add some texture to them. God, look how many trees there are. Look at that. Look at all them things. Foliage. That right there is called foliage. Look how fast we can make it look more three-dimension just with some quick little splotches. Brings it to life a little bit more. And when you're doing maps, you know, just remember, it might look like shit when you're up close. When you zoom out, that's when the magic happens. That's when it happens, folks. What species would you not want to eat in Kolgarath? Swamp trolls. The idea was in a primordial state of the world, there's nothing but barren land, no life, only dust and chaos. The primordial naga named the Agung, comes from space, splits itself into 4 beings. Okay, all right, we're getting out there now, huh? What creature in Kolgarath has the best taste? Ooh, lava back crab, baby. We love us some seafood, don't we? Lava back crab legs. With some garlic butter or some Old Bay. Some Old Bay mixed with some garlic butter. Squeeze a little lemon on that thing. Now we're talking. Oh, forgot to color those tree trunks over there. Look at that. Would you look at that? We missed it. Before I forget. Go. trees up. Cool beans, man, cool beans. Let's get some of these bushes. Can't forget the bushes. Wait, I didn't even hit this tree right here. Slacking, dude. For your map, you drew it out and based 2 continents on a sperm whale and colossal squid. For Anzanor's map, while drawing the continent that's a mix of Asia and Africa, you unintentionally drew a piece of land that's in the shape of Mexico. Nice. Viva Mexico! Had a custom brush pack. This is these 2 packs right here are packs I bought from other artists, so they're not my brushes. There's some moss and lichen, swamp grass, willow trees, whatever you want to call them. Alright, now we gotta go over here, hit these savanna trees up. Whoa, too much. Boom! Foliage. Good to go. It's coming alive, folks. It's coming alive. Oh yeah, we gotta do some like underbrush. So it'll go beneath that, and then we'll just take this same brush tool, and then we'll grab a color just slightly darker, and just throw a couple of these around just to add some texture to the grass. Don't color over the mountains, dude. What are we doing? Right now I'm just spamming bushes and stuff, so just kind of zoned out right now, dude. Zoned out. Just trying to hurry up and get these in there so we can move on to the next thing. Doesn't make a huge difference, but you know, it's subtle. It's noticeable. Over here we throw some sort of savanna color bushes and stuff. What's the pixel dimension? $4,500 by 4,500 pixels. 15 inches by 15 inches. 300 DPI. Big canvas, yeah, I wanted to make sure it was a good enough size so I can really get in there and at least draw some really tiny stuff, right? Even if it's not going to make a huge difference when you zoom out. I had to make sure it was a big enough canvas. Do dinosaur species from our world exist? Nope. Fictional dinos. Do you have floating lands? I haven't designed any yet. I'll probably throw something like that in there. You know, later down the line as a way to always expand more upon the map, right? Something I could add in there. I was thinking maybe in one of the areas. So down here in Archaea, we have Primordia, right? Which is like this elemental like hotspot where like the rifts and stuff open and you have a lot more like elemental creatures spawn forth and things. So it's going to be a very like magic. This is like a super heavy powered like magic elemental area. So maybe in that area, since you know the air elements will be strong there just like everything else, I can have some floating like mini islands maybe and things like that, like Avatar type stuff. So because since there's like a concentration of magic, I can do a little bit more high fantasy with certain areas versus others. Pegasus or no Pegasus? I haven't thought about it. I haven't thought about that. The next horse I'm going to do is like a unicorn. Let's see what it looks like without the water. Just popping. Alright though, I think we got at least about a good stopping point there. It's been just over 2 hours here. Ugh. Got some textures done. I'm still have to touch up some of the structures, the buildings and things, and flesh out those colors more. Then after that, I'll throw a little bit more texture in some other areas, and then we're gonna hit the shadows, and then I'd do the ocean. Figure out how I'm gonna want to do the coral reefs here, because obviously they're underwater, so you're not gonna see much color-wise. But yeah, we got some good stuff down here tonight, folks. This is a solid stream, if I do say so myself. But yeah, I'm gonna hop off. I'm gonna eat one more time. Maybe I don't want to record any of my video. But yeah, I'm gonna hop on off, folks. Do me a solid, if you're still here and you're watching, hit that like button if you haven't already. Smash the like button, it helps out the channel. And subscribe if you haven't and you're new here, because that also helps the channel. And you can keep up to date with all this stuff I've been working on as we build out our world in real time for all the world to see. Behind the scenes, no secrets here, folks. You're getting to see the process. You're seeing how the meat is made, how the McDonald's chicken nuggets are actually made. You're seeing it. Alright? Alright, y'all. Thanks for hanging out, stopping by, chilling. I'm gonna head out. See ya. Deuces.